If you want to start your business in the UK but not sure how to go about it, make sure to stick with me till the end because I'm going to invite a special guest, Yash from AYNJ Solicitor, who's going to talk about the different visa categories which allows anyone to open their own business in the UK. And for people who don't know me, I'm Sarika and welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy. And if you want to study abroad, make sure you fill the Google form so that my team can reach out to you. So without any further delay, let me introduce you guys to Yash. Hi Yash, welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy.
Hi, Sarika. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Great, thank you.
Okay, so Yash, if you don't mind, can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Sure. My name is Yash Dubal. I'm the managing director at AYNJ Solicitors, which is a SR-regulated legal 500 multi-award-winning solicitors firm specialized in UK immigration in central London. We have served 4,000 plus clients and we have 1,200 plus client reviews.
Okay, that's a nice introduction. Thank you very much. For my audience, whoever wants to reach out to Yash for any legal advice, you can. I'll provide all the links in the video description. And today's topic, Yash, is about how to start a business in the UK, especially for people who are not a British national. So say people from India who got their business up and running in India,
Sure.
and they also want to expand in the UK, or also people who are already in the UK, say on a various kind of visa categories like student visa or say dependent visa or ICT visa or any other visa category. And if they want to start a business, how can they do it? If you can explain that with few examples and visa categories, it's going to help my audience a lot.
Absolutely. So these are the three categories. I'll narrow it down. So I'll just cover those three categories for your audience, which might be very helpful for them. I think I'll start with, let's say, first is Innovator Founder Visa, which has been kind of being innovated throughout these years. It was Innovator Visa and Startup Visa. Now they have combined it to make it Innovator Founder Visa. So the new requirements for this category is the biggest one is the business has to be innovative, scalable, and viable. Now that's where this kind of a showstopper for majority of businesses, because business could be easily demonstrated viable and scalable. But where it gets stuck is innovative part of the business. Not every business is innovative business, and it has to be new business idea. You can't join existing business now under new category of Innovator Founder Visa. So what is that innovative business? So I'll just give a little bit of hint to your audience just to put it in layman terms. So starting a taxi company in the UK is not innovative. But let's say you are kind of an Uber, it can become innovative, right? A starting restaurant is not an innovative, but let's say you become a kind of a Deliveroo or Just Eat or something similar, like, or application online, that's something different than what's going on in UK market, then it could be considered as an innovative. Now, if you believe and feel that you have this sort of idea, then feel free to explore with the endorsing body, because the UK government has approved few recognized endorsing bodies. So you have to go to this endorsing body and get that endorsement first. And once you have that endorsement, and then you need to satisfy the English language requirement, which is, that first requirement is getting the endorsement. And you will only get endorsement if your business is innovative, viable, and scalable. Now, if you meet this, get the endorsement, then English language requirement, which is B2, right? CEFR B2, which is 5.5 bands in IELTS, in reading, writing, speaking, listening, minimum in every section you need. Or if you've done, let's say, a bachelor's or master's degree, you just need an equivalent certificate from formerly known as UK NARIC, now ECCTIC, equivalent certificate. Or if you're coming from English-speaking country, you don't need to do English language test. So English language test, and then you should have a fund in your account for minimum 28 days, and that is £1,270 for a minimum 28 days. So these are like the requirement in nutshell, the overview. Hope that makes sense. Do you have any follow-up question on this number one option?
Yes, please, I do. So in this option, you don't require a job offer, but you need a endorsing letter from endorsing body, right?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. And that's where it becomes complex, because I think the complexity about this category is being the innovative, in my view. So just to throw you some statistics, in 2020, there were only 222 applications that were approved. And in 2021, 322. I don't have statistics for 2022 yet, but roughly around 200-300 applications are getting approved. So you can imagine this application is not being widely used, though the route is very famous and popular. But in practical, how many people can use it? Very few. But I think the benefit here is with Innovator visa category, you can bring your family, your spouse and children under 18. You could be on a route to settlement, which is permanent residency in 3 years' time, subject to qualifying the criteria, meeting the qualifying criteria, which are again very strict. So this is one route. Number two route, I would say, is the UK expansion worker. Global Business Mobility UK Expansion Worker, which is kind of a revised version of a previously known as a sole representative visa, which was very popular then. But that previous route was leading towards permanent residency. Now this new route is not leading towards permanent residency. So someone running a business abroad, and if they want to set up a branch office in the UK, they can then send their representative to set up a branch in the UK. And this is how they can create an extension of what they are doing abroad or overseas. How does that work? Just a bit of how does it work and what does it take to get this UK expansion worker for the benefit of your audience? You have to have, of course, genuine trading, active trading business abroad. Then you need to establish a company in the UK first, step one, then get a sponsor license for that company. And then after, you need to sponsor your senior member of staff who is working for you at least for 12 months, unless there are exception applies. And then once you sponsor, they come to the UK under UK expansion worker visa, and then they can set up a branch. But the downside is they will not be on a path to settlement. They can obviously bring their family, which is spouse and children under 18. There is no English language requirement. But of course, you need to do tuberculosis test if you are coming from the countries on the UK's list. And that's the requirement for the UK expansion worker.
So Yash, another follow-up question. So say a company based in any part of the world, they are a startup company, yeah? And now they also want to expand in UK. It can be in any category, say IT or I don't know, in a hospitality.
Sure.
For them to open a branch here and for them to register as a licensed sponsor in the UK, do they need to partner with anybody here who got a British passport, or irrespective of any passport they have in the country their business is set up, they can still apply for the licensed sponsor?
So UK expansion worker, sponsor license, when you apply for sponsor license, you don't need any settled person to apply for sponsor license for UK expansion worker, right? So that's how it works. It, of course, takes time and relevant documents, specified documents to apply for sponsor license. But no, to answer your question, there is no need. So now I will move on to the third and final option. It's called self-sponsorship visa. And I'll explain the pros and cons versus the other visa category. So the self-sponsorship route is there is no immigration category as such, which I, of course, spoke a lot on my YouTube channel and on my website. But it's just a combination of getting a sponsor license and getting a skilled worker visa for your own company. And the reason it's most popular in my view and most easier because there is no restriction as to what business you can run. There's no restriction. And most importantly, it sets you on a path of settlement straight away from day one, unlike UK expansion worker. Like Innovator founder visa, the business doesn't need to be innovative. Any business from any sector of any size, any revenue with any number of employees can apply through the self-sponsorship route, which is to step one, set up the company in the UK first, get the sponsor license and get the skilled worker visa. And that's all about it. But of course, it's complex in a way where you need one settled person while you're applying for the sponsor license to act as a key personnel on sponsor license. But again, because we have an established package, which we've been doing, and we have been very successful, touch wood, we have 100% success rate till date. We have served almost now over 77 clients, no refusal. So it's working for people to run any business. We do get clients from all across the globe, mainly from Indian subcontinent to USA as well. So yeah, it's working out well for those who really want to set up a business in the UK. So that was my last option I would suggest someone. if they genuinely want to run a business in the UK.
I have plenty of students here in the UK, or even people who are on a different visa category, say dependent visa
Sure.
or any other visa category,
Yeah.
but they want to open their own business. And because they are not a settled person, because of their different passport holder, like Indian passport holder or some other nationality, then they need to first find out someone who is already settled here with a British passport. And then
Yeah.
in a joint kind of venture, they can start a business with them, right?
Yeah. Yes. So it becomes a bit complex when someone is a student, Sarika, because of course students supposed not to run business in the UK due to their restricted right to work. However, if there is a student dependent, they most likely might have unrestricted right to work. In that case, they can step one, set up a business, get the sponsor license, get skilled worker visa. Simple, right? And they can switch into the skilled worker visa in the UK. For student to switch in skilled worker visa in the UK, they must have completed their course in the UK. Now there's another restriction. So yeah, it's challenging. But I think so interestingly, my last research, which of course I helped one of my client, she got it approved, though she did not get the degree. Why? Because she submitted the skilled worker visa application after her course end date on her CAS, right? So student, they have CAS, course acceptance of studies, right? So that CAS, if you are applying for your skilled worker visa after the course end date, you can switch in the UK. What you cannot do is you cannot apply before your CAS course end date. So this is like very critical information. Not even many lawyers knows about it. And they say, oh, you did not complete the course. Now you can't switch. You go home and apply. That's incorrect. This is very important.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
a big
very important.
by the UK government. Yes, note for the students, irrespective of whether you have passed the exam or you failed the exam, but as long as your application is after your end date of CAS letter, you're still eligible to move to skill visa if you happen to find a sponsored job. That is
That's
what.
right. That's right. Now, coming back to the topic of self-sponsorship, they cannot take an active part running the business, Sarika, but anybody can be an investor, right? So anybody can have a company in the UK. Even if you are an overseas national, you don't have any right to remain in the UK, or you don't have any right or any sort of visa in the UK. You can still own a UK-based company, right? If you have, let's say, shareholding, 100% shareholding of a company as an investor, that's perfectly fine. Now, from the immigration purpose, that's good enough for us to do self-sponsorship route. What I would suggest for them not to become director of that company, but they can have their own company where they are not actively involved running that business, but just as the owner, and then go on to do the stage 2 and stage 3, which is getting skilled worker sponsor license and skilled worker visa for the business, and then of course for themselves, if of course if they meet the requirement of course completion date, and then of course they can be on self-sponsorship route. So it might sound complicated, but it's not impossible. Of course, it requires professional legal advice, and we have helped many students to switch in the UK from student visa to self-sponsorship route. Yes.
This is nice to know. So I hope the students are making notes, and I'm sure they will reach out to you very soon. Just a note here. So for people who are watching this video, I already have a dedicated video on my channel, which I did with Yash last year, which was all about self-sponsorship. I'll be providing the link in the video description, and you guys can have a look. And any follow-up questions, or if you want to catch up with Yash, you can reach out to him on the number provided on the screen. So,
Yeah.
Yash, is there any more category you want to discuss?
No, these are the three categories, Sarika, in nutshell. So number one is Innovator Founder Visa. For those who might qualify for it, please try. If you think your business is innovative enough, and if you can get the endorsement from the endorsing body, try Innovator Visa. It's nice, it's straightforward. If you do qualify, if not, then and if you want to set up a branch and send one of your representative, then UK expansion, worker, global business mobility. And if not, nothing, then try self-sponsorship route.
Okay. Thank you very much, Yash. Thank you for coming and recording this video. And thank you to my audience for watching this. If you guys got any follow-up question, do let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys want me to bring Yash on YouTube live session, do let me know in the comment section as well. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys soon with my next video soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.